Hey everyone, godlessProgressive here. This video is going to be about a couple of things. First thing it's going to be about is the elections. The midterm elections are coming up tomorrow, actually, and I want to do a video to sort of talk about them. I think it is important for everyone to go out and vote for a couple of reasons. First reason is that I feel that the Tea Party and the candidates they're putting up are dangerous for democracy. And the reason why I think they're dangerous for democracy is that they don't believe in democracy. They believe in some sort of authoritarian style type of government where we all take orders from one person or something like that, you know. They don't, like I said, they don't believe in government. They're anti-government. They want to tear down government. You know, they want to get rid of all. They want to get rid of all the social programs. They want to get rid of Medicare. They want to get rid of Social Security. They want to not fund health care. They want to get rid of the Department of Education. They want to get rid of the Department of Agriculture. They want to get rid of the EPA. You know, just absolutely just crazy, ridiculous ideas that can't work. They also, most of them have no plans. They just say we need to stop spending money, which means they want to cut something, but that doesn't get us to solving our financial problem. You know, you also need to raise money. So you just can't say just cut things and now work. It doesn't work that way, you know. We can't solve our current problem just by cutting programs. So what I'm saying is when they say that, they don't have a plan. It's just like a talking point. They're just saying that, you know, because it sounds good to be fiscally responsible. You know, they're not actually fiscally responsible. They just want to spend the money on different things. They want to spend it on tax cuts for the rich, you know. They have no plan on how we're going to get the money to give rich people these tax cuts. But that's what they want to spend it on. They want to spend it on things like that. They want to spend it on expeditionary wars, you know, to fight the Muslims in their own little personal holy war. That's what they want to do. Where are they going to get that money? Who cares? That's what they say. Who cares? So these people are not people we should be having in government. So first thing, go get registered. Second thing, go get registered to vote. Second thing, vote anti-Tea Party, because I think these people are just not worthy of holding a government office. And I'm not saying that because I don't like Republicans. I'm not saying no Republicans can be in office. I think it's actually good to have another party to balance out one party, because that's the way democracy is supposed to work, you know. But these people, they have no interest in government. They have no interest in governing whatsoever. They just want to tear everything down. So get registered, go vote anti-Tea Party. Second thing I wanted to talk about was Jon Stewart's rally to restore sanity, or as I like to refer to it, the rally to restore apathy. It was essentially what I expected it to be, which was massively disappointing. And the reason I say it's massively disappointing is because the rally sort of struck me as some sort of, oh, can't we all just get along and not yell at each other sort of thing. And I'm not opposed to that, but my thing is, there's two sides to this debate we're having here, right? There's the left, and the right, right? I know that's sort of a false dichotomy because it fractures up, but just for the sake of argument, there's two sides. There's people who are liberal, or who are liberal, right? Who have a more liberal view of the world, of society, and how government should run. And there are people who have a more conservative view of the world and how society should run, right? The conservatives right now are yelling and screaming to have their voices heard. So when the left sort of yells and screams back, it's merely just to counter the yelling and screaming. So if one side's not going to stop yelling and screaming and raising hell, don't you think it's sort of pointless to have this let's all get along sort of rally? Because I'm all for getting along. I'm all for disagreeing and not being disagreeable. But the other side is being totally disagreeable. So to make this rally about not being, about having civil disagreements, that's fine, like I said. But there's two sides to this, and the other side's not going to listen to anything you got to say. They're not interested in any of that. It just seems to go over his head, that he doesn't understand that they're not going to listen to anything he's got to say, They're just against anything that is liberal or progressive. The point is that he's doing this rally, and the rally doesn't work because he thinks there's two sides of people who will sit down and have civil disagreements. But there's not two sides that will sit down and have a civil disagreement. There's one side that will sit down and have a civil disagreement, and the other side who refuse to, because they see the other side as the enemy. I think actually this rally actually would have worked if it would have been something like, in order to make a difference, you have to get involved, you have to be active. And it would have been a thing of get active in your local community to affect actual change. Or if it would have been some sort of way, say, hey, we need some sort of strategy for us liberals and progressives and us on the left to sort of counter what the conservatives are doing, I think it might have worked then. But him going to this sort of kumbaya, let's all hold hands and get along and not yell because yelling's nasty and icky sort of thing, that's not going to work. Conservatives are just going to see it as a sign of weakness. That's what they're going to do. And I hate to say that, but that's what they're going to do. And I feel like him not recognizing that, A, there are two sides of this, and B, that both sides have to be civil in the argument in order for sanity to be restored, is just, on Stewart's part, just an act of delusion and not facing reality. The other thing I sort of had a problem with was sort of the leading up to this rally and sort of the eventual rally in and of itself, was he makes this false equivalency between the left and the right as if somehow they're the same. They're not the same. I mean, what he's saying essentially is that Glenn Beck and Rachel Maddow do the exact same thing on their news program, which they don't. Rachel Maddow doesn't do conspiracy theories. Rachel Maddow doesn't refer to the president as a racist. I mean that's just nonsense. I mean, where does he get this? I mean that's what I'm talking about. There's not the same thing between conservatives and liberals are not the same. They don't see the world in the same way. They don't think about the world in the same way. You know? So to say they're the same is just, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I mean, it really is. And it's a false equivalency. You know? What Rachel Maddow does on his show could not be any more different from what Glenn Beck does on his show. You know, when George W. Bush was in office, Rachel Maddow didn't come on her show and talk about how there were fascists in the Bush government. She didn't do that. But Glenn Beck has no problem saying there's Marxists in the Obama administration. Has no problem saying that. And he said it over and over and over and over and over again, by the way. Like, he's still saying it to this day. You know, so to equate the two, it's just nonsense. And to equate really, you know, quote, the extreme left, unquote, and the extreme right is not the same either. You know, he's an excuse of, like, when they call Obama a Nazi, or they call him a commie, or they call him a Marxist, they call him a neocolonial opinion, or whatever they call him. They call him a socialist, right? They call him these things, and he thinks that's the same as someone like as the left referring to Bush administration officials as war criminals. Well, hold on a second. First of all, in regards to Obama, he's not a Marxist. He's not a Marxist. He's not a communist. He's not a Nazi. He's not a neocolonial Kenyan. He won't enact economic things I want him to do, and I'm not a socialist. So how the fuck is he a socialist? Doesn't even make sense. So all the things that they say about Obama are demonstrably false. They're not true. But let's go to Bush administration officials. When someone on the left will, like, say, I don't know, say Code Pink. I think he used that example, Code Pink. When Code Pink refers to a Bush administration official as a war criminal, well, George W. Bush himself admitted in a speech that he committed war crimes. He tortured people. And he said he'd do it again to save lives. Dick Cheney gave an interview on Fox saying, yes, he tortured people, and I'd do it again to save lives. John Yoo admitted to giving them the authorization to do this. He's admitted to doing this. It's not out of line to refer to a Bush administration official as a war criminal. It's telling the truth, and that's what I think the problem here is. Sometimes you have to use extreme rhetoric to explain someone's extreme actions. You should not be afraid of telling the truth, and that's what it seems like he's doing. That's too harsh to refer to what the Bush administration did as war crimes, even though they're fucking war crimes. I mean, and that's the false equivalency at its best. And that's why it's bullshit. Because you're saying a lie has just as much as value as a truth. And in my view, the lie of the false equivalency is nothing more than a fallacious attempt on Stewart's part to appear moderate. He's just a liberal who doesn't want to piss anyone off. Sometimes you have to piss people off in order to get the point across. And we shouldn't be afraid to piss people off and tell the fucking truth. There's nothing wrong with those two things. Alright, everyone. I will talk to everyone later. You guys have a good day. God's progressive. Peace.